Good afternoon. My name is Brandy, and I will be your conference operator today. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone to the Capital One Orange Bowl conference call. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there will be a question-and-answer session. If you would like to ask a question during this time, simply press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you would like to withdraw your question, press the pound key. Thank you. Mr. Larry Wall, you may begin your conference.
Thank you, Brandy, and welcome everybody. We're pleased to announce that the 83rd Capital One Orange Bowl will feature number 11 Florida State against number 6 Michigan. We have Coach Jimbo Fisher of Florida State on the line. We're attempting to reach Coach Harbaugh, and as soon as we do, we'll get him on the line as well. But at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Coach Fisher for some opening remarks, and then we'll open it up for questions for him.
Yes, very excited and happy to be returning down to the Orange Bowl. Our last trip being in 2012 was an outstanding experience and with great hospitality. And like I say, being one of the New Year's Six Bowl games and just an outstanding game and the great tradition of the Orange Bowl, to be blessed to be able to come down and have Florida State represent the ACC and this great game. And like I say, we feel very fortunate, excited about it, excited about the matchup against a great opponent in Michigan. Michigan's had a great year. We've had a great year, and should be a great bowl game for the fans and everyone involved. So, but again, the history of college football, there's none any bigger than the Orange Bowl, and we're looking forward to, like I say, carrying the torch for the ACC and hopefully playing well. Questions?
At this time, if you would like to ask on your question, please press star 1. Your first question or comment comes from the line of Jeff Snoff from the Orange Bowl.
Hey, I'm sorry. I just had a question for Coach Harbaugh. I take it he's not online yet?
That's correct.
You expect him, Larry?
Yes, we do, momentarily.
Hey, Jimbo, while you're here and I'm online, just you talk about getting in over Louisville. There were a couple spots behind you, and you finished the season much better than they did, and that's what Kirby Hocutt pointed to. Could you just address that?
Yeah, I think we did. I think we finished up very strong, won 6 of our last 7. That loss being to Clemson in a great ball game, and I think our non-conference schedule, playing a great non-conference schedule, and the way we approached all that with Ole Miss in the beginning was we have to be the 8th team this week that Michigan, when we play Michigan, will be the 8th team that's ranked in the top 25 that we play. Having Florida non-conference, Ole Miss non-conference, South Florida, who's a top 25 team non-conference. And I think the committee rewarded that. But again, Louisville's an outstanding team, very well deserving too. But I guess it doesn't matter how you finished and the way we ended up this season. And I'm very proud of our team for doing that.
Your next question or comment comes from the line of Michelle Kaufman with Miami Herald.
Hi, Coach. Thanks for taking the time. Can you just talk about the fact that South Florida is a huge Seminole fan base down here? I mean, there's so many Nole fans here. Can you talk about playing a bowl game in the same state and just what you expect from the fans?
Well, I think the fans will be great. I think we'll have a great turnout. As you say, Miami is an extremely important city to us in recruiting, and all the great history of the great players. There have been a lot of them that came out of the city of Miami, and I believe Miami plays as good a football as anybody in the country when you talk about high school football in that area, and it's been so talent-rich for us for so many years and is right now. And be able to have some of our guys be able to go home and play in front of some home fans, I think it's a tremendous advantage and a tremendous reward for them, and then to do it, and again, such a game like the Orange Bowl, it's just going to be a great experience.
Can I ask a follow-up? Just, obviously you're busy with your own season during the year. How much do you follow Michigan? And obviously the real scouting starts now, but what would you say just, today seeing them as your opponent, what do you think about them and how they match up with you guys?
Well, obviously they had a tremendous year. I mean, they were right into the playoff picture right to the end to the game with Ohio State, and that was one of the great ball games of the year. I mean, a tremendously great college football game for everyone. So we know we're going to have a tremendous opponent. And I know defensive they've ranked extremely high. I know their defense coordinator, Coach Brown, he's been at Boston College for years, did a great job there. Of course, Jim does a great job with the offense and those guys. And Jed Fish, I mean, he was at Miami since I've been here. So they're going to be able to move the ball. They're going to be great on defense, and they had a great year. So they got great players. I know catching off and on parts of games. Like I say, it's hard as a coach to stay up with that, but every week they've been up there, and we're going to have our hands full. There's no doubt, and it's going to be a great opponent, a great challenge.
Thank you.
Your next question comes on Jared Shanker with ESPN.com.
Hey, Jimbo, you mentioned the history of the Orange Bowl, but you love the history of college football in general, and these are two teams that through a lot of the history, the last 20, 30 years have been right up there competing for national championships, but they haven't played against each other all that much. I think this is just the third time, even though the game was just announced. Have you had a chance to look back and just kind of think about being part of a game, a Michigan-Florida State game, considering they hadn't played a whole lot, and just how good?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great reward, like I say, and I think it's two brand-name programs across the country that, it's going to be great that they play for the third time. I know in 1986 it was a 2018 game, and in the 51-31 game in 1991, Florida State was able to win, so it's 1-1. But, I think Jim was the quarterback in the 86 game. So I know that they had great teams, and again, two brand-name schools. I guess don't ever get a chance to schedule very much, but it's great that we're going to meet in a big-time bowl game again. So it makes college football so great. I'm very blessed to be part of it.
And Jimbo, you reminded us several times that you're not a doctor, but any chance that you have an idea as to whether Derwin James is going to play or going to have a chance?
I doubt if he does. But we'll see. I mean, there may be they'll test him this week, and he's farther along. We'll have to talk to the doctor. We'll probably talk to him here in the next couple of days.
Thanks, Jimbo.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Logan Robinson with NOL Game Day.
How you doing, Jimbo? We got a question here. Just talk about how this might mean a big deal for Dalvin coming into Miami once again. Just the way his season has been and the way that he's one of FSU's greats. And just tell me how he may have a little bit more motivation going down there and playing.
I think it is very blessing that his family can be in a hometown to watch him play a major bowl game and possibly his last game for Florida State. You don't ever know. He hasn't made a decision, and when he gets the information back, he'll make that. But, again, you're talking about one of the all-time greats in Florida State history. I think one in college football history. I think he's a dynamic player, and be able to do it in your hometown is a tremendous reward. I don't know motivation. I mean, he's motivated everywhere he goes, but I'm sure he'll want to play well in front of his home crowd. There's no doubt. But I think Michigan will try and have something to say about that, too. So we're going to have to block well, not only around Dalvin. The guys around him are going to have to play well so Dalvin can play well. But it is a great reward, and I'm happy for him and that his family can be right there with him. That's definitely true.
Thank you, Jimbo.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Chris Solari with Detroit Free Press.
Hello?
Chris?
Hello. Sorry, I think I had my phone on mute. Congratulations.
Well, I guess first of all, you mentioned Dalvin, but obviously Jabril Peppers on the other side. I'd imagine he'll be keying on him. That seems like it's a pretty good star power matchup. What kind of things do you guys know about Jabril and the things that he does to impact a game?
Oh, we do. You get to see it, and we remember Jabril from high school, just watching him. I mean, he is an offensive player, he's a defensive player, he's a special teams player. I mean, he's one of the unique guys that's physical enough to play where he does at the line of scrimmage, almost like a nickelback, like a linebacker, but can go play safety or corner, whatever he has to do. But then to be able to run the jet sweeps and return the kicks and the punts and the ball skills that he has, I mean, he's a very, very unique player and is one of the great players in college football. There's no doubt about that. And very well deserving of everything he is receiving now award-wise. And, as obviously Michigan had a tremendous year. He led his team very well, too.
As a follow-up, have you crossed paths with Coach Harbaugh much at all? I know he's been kind of out of the college game for a lot until last year.
No, not much. I mean, a couple times on the road recruiting, I think last year or so we bumped into each other here and there, and but never have great respect for him. He's done a great job everywhere he's been.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Ryan Clark with 4chat.com.
Jimbo, I know you're someone who you're all about preparation, but what's it been like trying to prepare for an opponent not knowing that if it was going to be Penn State or Michigan or Wisconsin or maybe even someone else in a different bowl game other than the Orange Bowl?
It really wasn't a big deal because we weren't even doing that. I mean, seriously, we just let it ride, let the guys have the week off. Everybody was recruiting last week, and we didn't even worry about it. Again, control what you can control when you control it, and we'll have plenty of time now to watch the film and get the opponent. We didn't worry about it and try to really prepare for it during that week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Brandon Sonan with Knowles 24/7.
Hey, Jimbo. I was just curious if you could talk about what this game means. Given how the season started and the strong run you guys had at the end, this seems like a really good reward for this team and just the focus of you guys to kind of get to this prestigious of a bowl game.
It really is. I mean, to be a New Year's Six, again, there's only two teams that have gone the last 5 years to the New Year's Six games or national championships or playoffs, and that's us and Alabama. And to keep that streak alive of 5 straight years is tremendous. And, and it was a testament to this team. We lost a couple of our goals early, to being able to win a national championship and an ACC championship, but it didn't matter. The culture of the place in which was been created here by these seniors and these underclassmen, and the seniors led this year probably as much as anybody to keep that team alive and get these young guys to keep buying in how to do things. The young guys really bought in, and once they started doing that, we started becoming a very good football team and very proud of them. And again, like I've said before, as proud of these guys as I have of any team because of how they persevered and the character they showed.
Thanks, Jimbo.
Thank you.
Again, if you'd like to ask an audio question, please press star 1. Your next question comes from the line of Christopher Heidel with Herb FM Radio.
Hey, Jimbo. How you doing?
All right. How are you?
Doing great. What does these 15 days of practice before this bowl game mean for you guys?
Well, I think it's like another spring practice. I mean, one, you get game preparation, but again, it's work for these young guys and our upperclassmen to get better for the draft and the seniors in which they're going to go, and hopefully, but the young guys getting just better in general, getting to play 15 more practices and play a great game, and it's like that's how spring ball is. It's 15 practices, so being able to do that's going to be a tremendous advantage to their development, no doubt.
And I know Michigan has 2 quarterbacks. One was injured. One came during the Ohio State game. Are you going to get ready for both of them, or is that the game plan?
I don't know. It's too early right now. We're just trying to get all that together and finish up recruiting and get our bowl practices all set around and make sure we get the preparation and the film watch. We'll see when we look at the film, but I'm sure we'll have to get ready for both of them, no doubt.
All right. Good luck in practice.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Tim Meinfeld with Seminoles.com.
Jimbo, yeah, you mentioned that 1991 game where Florida State went to Michigan, and at the time especially, that was a really, really big win for the program. What are your memories of that, if you remember? Did you watch it live, and any of those guys with T-Buck or Casey Wilton, any of those guys jump out? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, they did. I remember T-Buck having the pick, and he and Desmond were going at it. Desmond won a couple, and T-Buck had a pick for 6, and Desmond caught a couple touchdowns, I remember. And I remember a throw that Charlie Ward in the game and threw a ball across, and he threw a screen pass back to Casey on the other side, and he went down the sideline. And kind of Coach Bowden faked a field goal or two or a PAT. And I remember Amp Lee made a great run and made a guy miss and score and had a big pick. I mean, I watched that game. I remember it. And it was a heck of a game. Like I said, I think both of them were ranked in the top 5 at the time. They had a great team. Florida State had a great team. It was a great game.
There are no further audio questions.
We'll give it another minute or two for potential questions here for Coach. We've been contacting Michigan on another line. We're trying to locate Coach Harbaugh. I think he had a flight this afternoon and may still be in the air for all we know. But and I see, operator, that Chris Solari has another question.
Chris Solari from Detroit Free Press.
Yeah, Jimbo, I don't. You haven't coached against a Big Ten team yet down there, have you?
I don't know. I played him at different times. I have when I was LSU and Auburn and different things. I'm trying to think. I don't believe so. That I can think off the top of my head. I don't believe so. But I may have, may not have. I haven't thought about it.
I mean, having a guy like Tim on your staff who's had recent experience in the conference, does that help in terms of game planning, or does that not really matter necessarily with some of the changeover that's gone on up here?
Well, I don't know about game planning, but I mean, it's the knowledge of the conference and the history, and seeing things and relationship and how the conference does things and the type of players they have, which we all know is great players. I mean, there's nothing you're going to see. I mean, they're great players. They're big. They're strong. They're physical. I mean, they're not ranked where they're at and had the success they've had because they got bad players. That's for sure.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, if you would like to ask an audio question, please press star 1.
Larry, did you say that Coach Harbaugh was on a flight?
He was supposed to land earlier this afternoon and may still be on it from what I had from Dave at at Michigan. But he expected him to be, on the ground and plenty of time to be on the call. If we have a couple more questions for Coach, and then we're going to let him go because he has his banquet this evening. But we will attempt, if we don't get Coach Harbaugh before the end of this, we will attempt to get him again. And I have a list of everybody who's on this call, so we can reach out to each one of you and let you know if we do get that set up. But I want, at this time, let's take 2 more questions for Coach and let him go because he does have his team banquet tonight. Operator?
Your next question comes from the line of Succeed Dean with Orlando Centennial.
Hey, Coach. I just wanted to ask, what's the biggest key you think that needs to be focused on to kind of avoid, losing a third straight?
Losing what? What did he say? I couldn't hear what he said. I'm just got to focus and get ready to play. I mean, you play good teams. You win some of them, you lose some of them. We're 4-2 in bowl games. So we've had great success in them before and always have, and other places I've been, and we'll continue to do a lot of the same things and get prepared and play. Hopefully play well.
Your next question comes from the line of Ryan Clark with warchant.com.
Jim, I know we talked to you after the Florida game, but it's been some time since then. Looking back, A, what did you think of your team on both sides of the ball in their final performance? And B, how would you assess the way this team has played really over the month of November? Because it's another 4-0 stretch, and it seems like they kind of lived up to your whole remember to November mantra.
They did. They played really well and got better and handled things and improved in a lot of areas that were very critical to our success, and just kept buying into what we were saying and played very well in the game. But from both sides of the ball, I thought we played well, had a couple chances. We'd got a few more seconds on one pass. I think we could have scored before the half and really had a dynamic offensive game, but had a really good offensive football game, very efficient offensive football game, and played well defensively. We're outstanding in the game. Like I say, 0 third down conversions and played very well. But overall, I thought our team played extremely well in the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from the line of Christopher Heidel with Herb FM Radio.
Hey, Jimbo, I have a question for you. You guys, Florida State's been in the bowl for 35, 36 straight years. Does that mean that's really good for the program with, with a lot of recruiting and all that stuff?
Oh, it is. I mean, you're tying an all-time record. I mean, 35 straight years is ties a national record, and it's something that we're very proud of. And 40 straight winning seasons, that's the longest current streak in college football. So I think all those things, the longest bowl streak, the longest winning streak, consecutive winning seasons. I mean, that's all great for the tradition of Florida State. And like I said, since 1980, Florida State's been the winningest football team in America, and that's something we're very proud of.
And I have one last question to ask you. Davin Cook, if you had a vote for the Heisman, would you bring him up to New York?
Oh, I mean, I think, listen, I'm not to take anything away from any of those other guys, and I'm not to say who should go or who shouldn't go, but he is definitely one of the most outstanding players in America.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Wall, I'll turn the call back over to you.
Operator, and thank you all. Especially thank you, Coach Jimbo Fisher. I know you've got your banquet, and we'll let you go. I'm sorry about not having Coach Harbaugh on here. We will get some information out to all of you with regard to that, and with regard to potentially getting him on another call for you. But again, thank you. In terms of the Capital One Orange Bowl, if you're interested in covering, and hotel information and credential information is on our website, orangebowl.org. If you click on the media tab, it takes you right into where you can apply for credentials, and you can at that point book your hotel room at the media hotel. Appreciate everybody being on the call, and hope to see you here for the game. We expect an